Why 4.5 hours per tech per day is simply not enough. I'm Dean from the Workshop Whisperer. This is the original Workshop Whisperer herself, Rachael Evans, and on this episode of Talking Shop, we're going to talk about why 4.5 hours of charge time per tech per day ain't going to get you a great result. Rach, tell us why.
Well, it's just straight up a ludicrous suggestion that when you're paying your techs 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, you should be satisfied with them getting to 4.5 hours per day of chargeable time. There's only one reason that you could be satisfied with that result, and that's because you're only going to pay your techs for half the time that they're actually in the workshop. You're only going to pay them 4.5 hours per day. Now, you know and I know that that is never going to happen. So because you have to pay them for the 8 hours a day or the 10 hours a day, they have to be charging out a maximal amount. So you might be at 3 hours a day at the moment, and you might think, well, 4.5 hours a day of chargeable time per technician is an improvement, and it is, but accepting that is the industry standard is you being fed a lie. And it's a dangerous lie because 4.5 hours a day per tech will only allow you to break even at best, not just because you have to pay that tech their full 8 or 10 hours per day, but because of what labour dollars contribute to your overall profit result. So it's all well and good to play on a calculator to see what you might be able to make if you did charge out more hours. It can be even quite helpful in some cases. But if you don't understand why you can't get your techs to charge out closer to the amount of time you're paying them, you are just going to set yourself up for a business ownership journey that is just a struggle. A couple of good months followed by twice as many bad months.
We're advocates of the 4-day work week, but we do not advocate for a 4-hour billable work day.
No.
It's an absolute recipe for disaster, and it's one of the important things of making sure you're going to the right people for the right advice. There's lots of people out there that sound confident but will give you the wrong advice, and setting a target of 4.5 hours of build time per technician per day is just bad advice. You'll end up in a worse position than you are right now, and you won't seek to improve it. So please, please, please don't use that as your benchmark for billable time per tech in a day, please. If there was one more piece of advice that you had on how people should be or could be measuring, what would you suggest?
What you need to be looking at is the possible causes of why your techs are only charging out that amount of time. So you've got to look at their ability to get close to their 100% time. Now, things are always going to happen, meaning that you're looking for your technicians to be a minimum, really, of 80 to 85% productive. And in our engine room community, that is the bare minimum. So you're looking at, well, what is preventing that from happening? Is it the person? Is it that they don't have either the work ethic or the level of experience to charge out more hours? In those two cases, your options are more training to help them become more productive, more efficient, or performance management, and you may actually have to performance manage them out of the business. Are there bottlenecks that impede them from being able to charge out their time, workflow issues, things like that? Or is it simply you don't have the work to supply to them so they can charge out? You may be carrying too many technicians for the amount of work that you have. Or you simply are under capacity, meaning you can do marketing to find more cars or do a better job of upselling with the vehicles that you have. So there's at least 5 factors there that you need to look at before settling for a mediocre result, and only 4.5 hours a day per tech is a mediocre result.
Yeah. Be careful whose advice you listen to. We'll see you on the next episode of Talking Shop.